Well, Oscar had a strong response to Draymond saying, quote, "Who cares what Draymond has to say? It might be boring to him because if he's not passing the ball to Curry, what is he doing?" Rodney, who do you think is right in this situation?
I don't know who's right, but Oscar Robertson clearly does not like Draymond Green because that was an unnecessary shot. Oscar Robertson, someone who was a phenomenal, elite, all-time athlete in the NBA, one of the greatest scorers the league has ever seen. I can't understand what game he's watching where he doesn't have the same perspective as Draymond Green. So it sounds like, I don't know, maybe Dre didn't dap him up one All-Star weekend or something. This sounded kind of personal, if I could be all the way honest. Yo, welcome to another episode of The Fumble. It's your guy, Rodney, Rikai. We got Samaria Terry rocking the old school Cardi B Bayang. What's up, man? How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. I see that you're on vacation. I hope that you're getting all of the rest and relaxation that you need.
Anything in the States is a trip. Anything out of the country is a vacation. I'm on a trip. It's been beautiful. It's nice. But I'm ready to talk some sports. Let's get into it.
So St. John's head coach Rick Pitino says he isn't recruiting high school players this year. Now, Matt Barnes responded to this on his social media page saying, quote, "The statement rubbed him the wrong way." He went on to say, quote, "All you 24, 25, and 26-year-old grown men, go get up and get a real effing job and let the kids coming out of high school get a chance to play college sports." Rodney, what are your thoughts on this?
I disagree with Matt, primarily because college athletics is now a job. Right. So if I can continue to make money by playing a sport for as long as I possibly can in a league where physically I should be able to dominate, then why would I not sign up for that? NIL has changed the business of collegiate sports. We talk about it on this platform all of the time. And so you cannot be mad at young men figuring out a way to make more money than they probably would at whatever 9-to-5 job. We all know that we don't make a lot of money our first couple of years out of college anyway. So I might as well stay up in this incubator, get paid, have a good time. And not really be immersed into the real world. You got your whole life to be a full-blown adult.
I only would say that I hate it for the high school athletes. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only thing. Like, I'm all for the guy. I mean, there's like a guy playing, I think his name is Robert Crawford the fourth. He's been playing since 2018 or 2017, 2018 season. Kudos to you, young man. However, I just hate that it now affects the high school players because they may have to now go the junior college route where you're not getting paid. And then who's to say after that, if you've played there for 2 or 3 seasons that you don't get hurt, you're not in your prime, quote unquote, anymore. Specifically, we're talking about basketball because they want you to be young. So I just feel like there's just like, and maybe there's a lot of coaches that are saying this, or they're thinking this, but Rick Pitino is the one that's actually saying it.
Yeah.
I can't be mad at it. The Auburn Tigers right now are the number 1 team in the country, and they have one of the oldest teams in NCAA college basketball. So
in basketball, not just NCAA basketball, in basketball, across all leagues. I'll say this though. I think that college, American college, is one of the more predatory institutions that we have in this country. To task young people, 18 years old, to figure out what they want to do with the rest of their lives, I feel like is a very, very daunting thing. And it's predatory because of the cost of it, right? Obviously, we're talking about scholarship athletes, so they don't have to pay for it. But just the sheer idea that you can almost take like an athletic gap year to help you develop mentally. We talk often about athletes who, are underdeveloped socially, are making mistakes, maybe don't have the nurturing to even know how to navigate the financial windfall that comes with getting this NIL money. And so the idea that these young people can take a couple of years to figure out who they actually are, without the pressures of like real elite Division I sports, I think actually can bode well for a number of athletes. I'm not talking about your 5-star blue chip recruits, but some of your lesser known 3- and 2-star athletes. I think this actually isn't the worst thing to go to a JUCO for 2 years and develop yourself physically and mentally. It's definitely a shift in culture, but I'm not really mad at it, to be honest with you.
You let us know down in the comments, what did you make of what Rick Pitino had to say that he is now not recruiting high school athletes? We want to hear from you down below.
Bucks forward Kyle Kuzma popped the question to his longtime girlfriend, Winnie Harlow, after taking that woman from LA to DC, which isn't bad. But then DC to Milwaukee, Kuz absolutely did the right thing by proposing to his supermodel girlfriend. I don't know much about Milwaukee, Samaria, but I do know that you do not want to be single and looking for love in Milwaukee. So my question for you is, Kuz proposed in the air. Samaria, how would you rate a proposal that took place on a PJ?
I mean, I feel like it's Kyle Kuzma, it's Winnie Harlow. I feel like it has been a while. I don't know about you, Rodney, but I've been kind of waiting on him to pop the question. Kind of like I was waiting on Kat to pop the question with
Jordan Woods.
Jordan Woods, thank you. So I feel like it's been a long time coming. You would see them. They always look very nice. They're dressed nice. I was like, okay, when is he gonna propose?
Wait,
so
what?
I feel like it's been so long that he had to like really come with it. And I think that he did. That's like what?
You said she was dressed nice, so I wanted to know when he was going to propose.
No, I'm just saying, like, when I would see them, I'm like, oh, they look so nice. They look so happy. Like, okay, don't play with her.
I blame these reality dating shows for y'all thinking that just because two things look good together.
No. I think that the reality dating shows are the reason why people aren't proposing.
Yeah,
people
but
got FOMO.
Yeah, but you're saying that you see two people who look good together, so instinctually you believe that they should.
Well, I'm saying after a while, I'm like, okay, they've been together for a minute.
Marriage is not the only institution by which to express love and commitment. We are aware of that, correct? I said the proposal. You talking about? I just want you to rate the proposal.
Okay, and I'm sorry. I was trying to say that it felt like it was a long time coming. So he needed to go above and beyond, and he literally went above and beyond. And I thought that was great. The whole family was there. I thought like that's beautiful. She was surprised. He read a nice poem, which I can't even see. Kuz like reading a nice poem, but I'm happy for them. Really.
I think Kuz is deeper than we give him credit for. Listen, man, any gesture of love, I'm all for. I think love is a beautiful thing. You are a fiance, right? And so you are to be wed very shortly. And so it's nice to see young people still believing in the institution of marriage. I think when you view Kyle Kuzma, you don't necessarily regard him as somebody who would sign up for marriage, right? Because he just feels like just all over the place in some regards, you know?
Yeah, maybe that's it's the big sweaters.
That might be a part of it, but I think that especially being in Milwaukee, being with Giannis, being with Dame, we might see this his nuptials actually translate to him having even more success on the basketball court. It feels like he's growing up in real time. He's 29 now, and this feels like what young men should do when they're ready to hit the next chapter and phase of life. So I'm excited for him. Congratulations, Kuz. Congratulations, Winnie Harlow. Y'all let us know, though. What do you think about Kyle Kuzma's proposal? Is it fly to propose while flying? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section.
All right, let's break down this Draymond Green, Oscar Robertson debacle. So during the All-Star weekend, Draymond called the state of today's NBA flat out boring. Well, Oscar had a strong response to Draymond saying, quote, who cares what Draymond has to say? It might be boring to him because if he's not passing the ball to Curry, what is he doing? Rodney, who do you think is right in this situation?
I don't know who's right, but Oscar Robertson clearly does not like Draymond Green because that was an unnecessary shot. I'm surprised that an old timer is not in agreement with Draymond Green saying that the game is boring because we have lost quite a bit of nuance. All we now do is shoot threes and layups and or free throws. We've lost the art of the mid-range game, and so Oscar Robertson, someone who was a phenomenal, elite, all-time athlete in the NBA, one of the greatest scorers the league has ever seen. I can't understand what game he's watching where he doesn't have the same perspective as Draymond Green. So it sounds like, I don't know, maybe Dre didn't dap him up one All-Star weekend or something. This sounded kind of personal, if I could be all the way honest.
Maybe Oscar is just a proponent or champion of just the game of basketball itself. Maybe he doesn't like when anybody has anything negative to say about the NBA. Maybe that's just what it is. Because you're right. It does feel like, I don't know. It's like, dang. I mean, he did go on to say that Draymond is a great basketball player. He doesn't take that from him. But he was just like, and that sparked this whole notion that all he does is pass the ball to Steph Curry did spark a lot of debate on social media with people saying that maybe that is all Draymond does. Or you have the other side, which may be right, that he is a future Hall of Famer and he does more for the game than just that.
maybe a future Hall of Famer. Draymond Green is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Okay, he's a future Hall of Famer. I'm just saying what the people
He is a
were
first
saying.
ballot Hall of Famer. Draymond's
I
legacy
don't
is not to be
disagree.
questioned. Yeah, Draymond's.
Yeah.
I'm not you, just in general. Draymond's
Oh,
legacy is not to be questioned. He is one of the greatest defensive players to ever play the game of basketball. He is a brilliant savant. He sees the game in a way that really is the obviously Steph is the engine, but Dre is the body of the vehicle of the Golden State Warriors for the last 10 years. You know, he's a phenomenal basketball player. His toughness in this era, both physically and mentally, is something that a lot of players in the league are devoid of. And so he is probably one of the last in a long line of rough, tough defenders, rebounders who are selfless and understands the bigger play, and that of course is putting the ball in the hands of Steph Curry. But be very clear,
yeah.
Draymond Green in many regards is the quarterback of the Golden State Warriors. I know we regard Steph as a point guard, but in all actuality, Draymond has the ball in his hands, maybe even more than Steph a lot of times. So I
Yeah.
don't want nobody out there questioning who Dre is on the basketball court. And he got hands if you really want to talk to him face to
Right.
face. We seen
I
that.
I was trying to pull up exactly what Draymond Green had to say, and he was saying, quote, it's just who can run faster, who can hit more threes. It's no substance. I think it's very
Mm.
boring.
Yeah, and it is. Everyone
Yeah.
knows that. I mean, I look. I'm an NBA guy through and through. It's hard for me to watch games. It's really hard for me to watch NBA basketball right now because it's just boring. It's people chucking threes. It doesn't look serious. It looks like open gym, you know. And I just don't understand why we have lost so much nuance. I do not like the implementation of analytics into the game. It has really changed the way the game has been played, and I think you see it even on a grassroots level down, you know, in Pop Warner, not Pop Warner, but like PPY basketball leagues. It's not great. It's not great.
All right. Well, you all down below, let us know, who do you agree with more in this situation? Do you agree with Draymond or do you agree with Oscar? All right, folks, we've got a champion in the building today. He's a Super Bowl winning cornerback who brought the same intensity off the field as an entrepreneur and community leader. Y'all give it up for Kayvon Webster. What's up, cousin?
Woo!
Big up yourself. Big up yourself, brother. Well, go on, man. How you doing today? How you feeling?
Good morning. I feel awesome, man. I'm just grateful to be here. I can't complain, and I'm looking forward to what's next.
I hear you. I hear you. I gotta ask out the gate, why is there so much talent in South Florida? Like, why are y'all so dominant in football? Why are y'all so athletic? Like, what's going on in the water down there, bro?
It's not even the water. It's that in Florida, you pretty much spend all of your time outside, so you're around your peers all of the time, and you just find yourself playing these sports, and what brings out better competition than competing with your peers.
We're a couple of weeks away from the Super Bowl having take place. You know, the Eagles won the chip. Did
Mm-hmm.
you see the game going quite like that, man? Were there any surprises for you?
I think, if you watch throughout the season, you could see some tells. You know that the Chiefs were really great, but it takes all 53 guys on the roster to, win a Super Bowl. And, after you watch the Chiefs, they have a few players that, that can change the game, but it wasn't enough for the Eagles. During the Chiefs season, you could see that they should have lost maybe about 10 games during that season already.
10 is a lot.
I mean, they had 12 games where they was down and they came back and won. I think 10 of them was by 3 points, and one of them was another. Two of them was a comeback, I believe. But I kind of saw this coming. I saw the Eagles dominating, by the performance they put on the previous week, and then the Chiefs were depleted with actual like talent. So it was only right that the Eagles win.
All right, Kayvon, looking forward, which one of your former teams are you most excited to see next season?
I'm excited to see the Broncos again. They were pretty exciting this year. Shout out to P2. He got a nice award for his great ability of shutting down on his island. It's always great to see Denver win games and get back on top because if I can remember, they haven't been to the playoffs until this year since we went to the Super Bowl. So it was great to see that team, get the well-deserved wins that they needed to get back to where we need to be.
So you feel like Sean Payton is the right guy for the Broncos?
I just like everything that the Broncos doing. I won't just give Sean Payton all of the credit. I would give the whole organization the credit. They do have new ownership. They are reaching out to do new things, and it was a great start by bringing in, Sean Payton and, him drafting a young, nice quarterback for the future of the Broncos.
So, yeah, Kayvon, earlier in the show, we talked about college basketball coach Rick Pitino essentially saying that he's not recruiting any high school players this year. What do you feel like the future of college sports is going to look like with the rise of NIL?
It's definitely a space that is it's just a space right now. It's just like we don't know. Like it's something that I feel like we work for. Like the people that came before them is like we work hard for that, for them to be able to get that. And it's a great thing to be able to have these young kids get in financial positions that could change their life without having to wait all the way till they get to the NFL. You know, right now they're in positions where they can secure their families for generations because of the money that they're getting through NIL. I think it's going to be a weird space for a while because it's going to be tough. Like when you have high school kids getting this large amount of money that people in the NFL get, or the college players are getting, it's going to be kind of hard to navigate with them because they're young and they have a lot. And it's just like when you see a lot, you miss everything, and when you see a little, you see the full spectrum of everything. So
they ain't gonna have no dog in them, is what you're saying. We not gonna be developing no dogs anymore.
yeah, it's kind of like when you get money, like some people just be complacent with what they get. They lose that hunger because they like, oh, I could fall back on this, or I could mess this up and I could still re-up or get back. But that's the wrong mindset to have when you have money. Just you gonna make mistakes, but don't make a mistake just because something else is coming. Like make the mistake genuinely. Don't just make the mistake. Because there's a lesson in all the mistakes that you make.
Yeah. Well, in this case, you have players that are staying longer in college because they're making so much money. You have teams like, unfortunately, my Auburn Tigers, the basketball team, they're older than like OKC. And so now the high school kids, I feel like maybe are affected because, like Pitino said, I'm not going to go out and get somebody that's inexperienced. I'm going to go and find another player that's been in college.
Right. I mean, you got to look at it from their perspective. They trying to win games and championships.
Right. Yeah.
The more experienced your team is, the more chance you give yourself to win. So I understand what he's saying by that, but as a college coach, you still have to recruit high school players. How else they gonna get into college? Like how else you gonna get college students? I guess they're gonna still be. I think it's a thing out now where they could go to JUCO or
JUCO, yeah, and they remain all the eligibility
stuff. So it's gonna be interesting. You might see a lot of kids going to junior college, and then going to a college team. That's great for them because they get actual prep to go perform at a high level at a winning school. Those are things that we didn't really have. Our clock was running. It was just like, okay, when we turned 18, we had to go to college, and our clock running right now.
Sure.
Just like, now I got to be full and done. I got to get what I need to get out of this right now. It's great that they having all of these years extended because now we might see people that looking like us actually get degrees for being in college a long time. So yeah. It's a great thing.
I like that perspective.
Sure. Congratulations to you, man. I know you graduated from USF, man. That's whenever I see an athlete really take the full opportunity to get that degree, I think it's a beautiful thing. Thank you for your time, bro. We appreciate
y'all. Thank you.
Best of luck with Smith and Webster. I'm looking forward to coming down to Miami. Samaria be out in these streets, so you might see her before you see me. But at some point, I want to come check your spot out.
You got to check out Smith and Webster Coral Springs and Smith and Webster Miami.
You all let us know who you want to hear on our show in the next episode. Let us know in the comments section. The Ball family is one of the most successful sports families of the last decade. LiAngelo's song Tweaker is a hit that got him to perform at All-Star Weekend and even has a remix with Lil Wayne. Lonzo got a new contract with the Bulls, and LaMelo is just LaMelo, which is always a vibe. But the family is now dealing with a bit of bad news as LaVar Ball had to have his entire foot amputated after suffering a serious medical issue. LaVar has always been one of my favorite people since he popped up back in 2016, telling the world that his sons were better than Jordan's sons and that he could beat Michael Jordan in a game of one-on-one. He's also said a slew of other wild things, but to see a dad ride for his sons the way LaVar has, always made me jealous that I didn't have the kind of father like him growing up. And while LaVar habitually flirted with crossing the line, especially on his ESPN visits, to me, he never did anything to harm his sons. He always kept the main thing the main thing. In fact, his gregarious nature is likely what got Lonzo drafted over De'Aaron Fox. Even if you view Big Baller Brand as a failure, the intention of building something outside of the big three sneaker companies was a revelation. Own your own shoe and apparel company? I mean, at that time, absolutely unprecedented. And let's not forget his contributions to amateur athletics. Please know this, if it were not for LaVar Ball, there would be no OTE. So while our fumble of the week is usually reserved for somebody doing something stupid, I wanted to give LaVar Ball just a level of acknowledgement today as he recovers from having his foot amputated. He's still glowing. He's still smiling. I just want to let LaVar Ball know he is the man in my book. Samaria, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I love that. And I have loved like the last, it seems like couple of weeks since Leangelo's song came out. A lot of people have been giving LaVar his flowers. And I felt like he really needed that, because I think that I'm thinking like back when Lonzo was coming up and coming out, there was a lot of people that felt like maybe he talked too much, or he was writing checks that his kids couldn't cash, and people couldn't really see the vision. And so I think that now that people see the success that all three of his sons are having right now, they've been giving him his flowers, even more so now that we learned the news of him having his leg amputated. So I think I'm just more excited about that, because like you mentioned, he is a great father, and you want someone like that in your corner riding for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, you all let us know your thoughts on the legacy of LaVar Ball. Also, send them some well wishes in the comment section. We'd appreciate that.
All right, that's all for this week. Thank you so much for joining us for another great episode of The Fumble. Make sure to subscribe to The Fumble and at The Fumble Sports on social media. You can catch us every Friday right here at The Fumble with myself, Samaria Terry, and my co-host, Rodney Rikai.
That's right. And if y'all were wondering, yes, outside of the NBA, there are black people in Utah. The more you know.